Awesome. Thank you. Gary.
How are you?
Great. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
A hell of an operation here. Very impressive.
Thank you, brother. There's several more floors that are even more interesting.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm not going to take.
We got here because of my dad.
Yes.
The only guy that can penetrate my schedule.
I figured. And so I sold my business in August.
Yep.
For
money.
A decent,
good for you.
A good amount.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And
you're a young guy.
I'm a young guy, so I'm.
How old are you?
43.
Young.
So we built this business from. I'm a second generation like you were, but I came in similar to you.
Small and blew it up.
About $3 million in sales.
Yep.
When we sold it, we did just under $30 million in sales.
Good for you, man.
So.
For 20, like literally 20 years?
20 years.
22 to 42 or 18?
I came in 1994. So, and again, a little bit of, I'm jumping around a little bit, but in 2007, 2008, the economy's tanking. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I ended up getting a divorce.
Sorry.
Timing was actually good because the business was valued less. It was a pretty miserable time. I got kids in my life, that I still have, and it was just brutal. And I went.
Where did you live?
I live in Randolph now, and I was actually in Randolph then too.
Got it.
So I went through this kind of awakening.
Yep.
And I started to study. I hadn't read a book in 20 years.
Yeah.
I probably read 30 books, all self-improvement.
Yes.
And personal development.
Yeah, you wanted to get into a happier place.
I wanted to figure out how do I train myself, and I just grabbed onto it.
Good for you.
And it was amazing to the point where
it changed everything.
It changed my
changed your business. It changed your life.
Absolutely.
The people you hung out with.
Exactly.
I know what I get it. I know
from being broke.
Yep.
I mean, to living in a beautiful home with a new wife,
yep.
with my kids, drive a Ferrari, awesome.
Good for you, man.
And I really got into this personal development, and I've actually done some speaking, not professionally. It's a whole different. I spoke to the entire.
So I mean, is the punchline of this, knowing we have limited time, that you want to explore building up your brand and talking about how you did it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also have, I'm also doing a bunch of other things right now. I'm actually going to be investing in a Lexus dealership, which is something I don't know how much investing you do in outside businesses.
I do a ton, but I focus my time and attention to early stage. I was an investor in Tumblr and in Twitter. I'm going for grand slams.
Gotcha.
And by the way, I love the practical. Like, one of my buddies has me all hot. I'm buying like pizza places that in New York that are $1 a slice. Like, in 2 years, you're making money. I feel like the practical thing I do is building businesses.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
If I sold my business and if I was done.
Yeah.
Meaning like done operating, I would invest in dealerships and more practical stuff.
Which is what I'm doing right now.
Which makes sense. Because I'm operating, this is practical, and I'm going for buy the fucking jets.
So that's another reason why I'm here. Again, I did well, but instead of millions, I'm focused now on
hundreds of millions
or billions.
Sure.
I've always felt that have a destiny to do something greater.
Good.
Not necessarily to be famous.
I get it.
But to do something more substantial, and then.
So given that I have to do a public speech.
Yeah.
And I've got certain things I've got to do, and we have very limited time.
Yes. And I don't want to take up.
And I'm loving the vibe here.
Awesome.
You love anybody who says nice things about my dad is gonna win. This makes a ton of sense. I understand why you wanted to get 10 minutes with me.
Yep.
What's the main question? What should you do next?
I think really I came to try to just get some energy from you.
Got it.
I don't have
here's the real energy. I think you need to put out, if you want to do hundreds of millions and you want to build and you're willing to be out there, which all the clear indications you are, you have to put out content. Okay. Whether through written, video, or audio.
Or all, or should you pick one?
Fuck, man, if you can do all, you do it. You've got to do it. And I didn't, it's how I did it.
Yeah.
Now I have a documentary every day going on.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like you've got to put out content every day.
So my question to that is, as I've studied and as I'm sure you've seen, a lot of the content, it's the same content but done in a different way or a different spin.
Yep.
All of the personal development stuff, whether you read Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn, it's the same stuff but done differently.
Of course.
So is that the idea? Just take that stuff.
Look, I'll give you a better piece of advice than that. I would do you.
Yeah.
Like, I even said the other day in Dailyvee, I don't want to be a motivational speaker. I'm motivating. I'm high energy.
Yes.
But I've never read a line or listened to a word of Jim Rohn.
Okay.
Or Napoleon Hill.
Right, right.
And I'm friendly with Tony Robbins because I like him. I've been at events. I've never listened to a CD or read a book. I don't know anything about any of these people.
Which is better,
I mean, 000. I don't know. I know the only reason I know who they are is because I get associated with them.
Right.
But I continue at all costs to not consume any of it because then it's not me.
Correct.
What I am is motivational, but I'm building, there's 600 fucking people working here. I'm like fucking up Madison Avenue because I'm revolutionizing the advertising world in agency form the way I did for liquor stores. I didn't read those guys to build Wine Library, I did me. Now, it sounds like you've consumed some of that, which is fine. My biggest piece of advice is to unwind that and be you. But you should talk about why you were broken, divorced, and not happy. And listen, you're a byproduct of that stuff motivating. Something clicked. Yeah. And I don't know if you know what that is. And listen, I've been putting out content for 10 years trying to understand myself, me, and this and that. But I think you just have to go honest as fuck. And I will tell you the #1 thing that scares the fuck out of me. Nice watches and Ferraris. Here's what I mean. Do not sell these people bullshit.
It's gotta be real, it's gotta be valuable.
Because you'll make money, but your grandkids are gonna think you were a dick.
Right. Understood.
You built an actual fucking business. Yeah. You're not a fucking self-help coach that only sells info products.
Right. I have a skill set. You're right. I have information.
You fucking did something. Yeah. Now, you needed motivation to get up in the morning and work hard enough and smart enough and have the energy to drive that business, but you know how to fucking like you know your craft.
Well, that, and then how do you motivate people so they care as much as you care?
Of course.
Which is what you've done here.
And what about selling? Like, how did you pitch projects? Like, all of it. Right. It's going to be very, it's going to be, it's
Garyvee just by saying, fuck it, I'll send up a flare and see what happens.
Asking is one of the ways, right? Yeah. Like, I'm surprised it happened. Like, you know, look, it comes down to very simple things, which is do not get caught up in taking a fucking pretty picture, like on a vacation, on a fucking boat, on Instagram, and selling these people bullshit. Yeah. Everybody's doing that.
It's everywhere you go.
You built a business. That's what you pound on. Okay. And if you happen to be motivating and charismatic,
all the better.
All the fucking better. Yeah. But there's plenty of people that none of these people have ever heard of making bank, and they're not charismatic, and they're not clever, and they're not cute or interesting. Right. They're just fucking making hundreds of millions of dollars running businesses. 98% of your energy on how you built your business and how it transformed. Like, was it that you were unhappy? Like, truths. Did you get divorced? Because who the fuck knows? But the further you're willing to go down the truth barrel, the more you're gonna win.
And personal.
Yeah, I mean, you're telling your story, right? I think you would write opt-in pieces, but then talk about all sorts of shit. Tell them how, I mean, literally, how I hacked 10 minutes with Gary Vaynerchuk.
Wow, that's actually pretty
It's a great story. I came into a meeting cynical, then I met the guy, I always remembered his name, funny name, like, that's a story. Yeah. How about the first deal you got after being upset? How about the first deal you got at 22? So, listen, I think all I can tell you is, if you get anything out of me, is all the hyperbole and the bullshit and drama and excitement and energy and accolades that I have. The thing I feel best about, and you know my dad better than you know me, is there's truth behind it. I love that. Because I know a lot of people that there isn't. Yeah. And don't be one of those people. It's too easy. You've made that's my man. Like, those are hundreds of thousands and millions for the couple people that are the best at being bullshit. You've already made that. Right. The fuck are you gonna play in hundreds of thousands and millions? You want something real? You want something fucking real? Play for tens and hundreds. That only comes in real shit. Don't sell fucking shit that's not true. There's no fucking secret. The secret isn't real. Like, I hope that's not real. It's fucking work. Right. Like, you know how you build a business in 20 years? You fucking worked your face off. Right. Like, you woke up at 6 and went to the job and it snowed, but you had to show up because if that person said you were a dick, then this organization wasn't gonna use you. Talk about accountability. Talk about when there's only 3 or 4 major builders in New Jersey that you can't fuck up ever because once your reputation's shit, you're out. There's a million people that want to fucking insulate. Yeah. Got it? Yeah.
You're the man, man. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Very much.
Stay well. I wish you well.
Thank you very much for your
My
time.
pleasure.
I know you're busy.
Take care of yourself.
Thanks.